When it comes to UFO sightings, one thing unites believers and skeptics: the sense that something is out there. New Zealand, with its remote landscapes and rugged beauty, has a surprisingly rich history of UFO encounters, with reports stretching back to the early 1900s. Today we're diving into New Zealand's strangest extraterrestrial sightings and encounters, some splashed across headlines, others whispered in the shadows. Our first stories bring us to the sunny coastal city, Gisbon. Between 1977 and 1980, the skies above Gisbon became the focus of one of the most mysterious and sustained waves of UFO activity in the country's history. Now, this wasn't an isolated sighting. This was a phenomenon, a flap. It started with lights, bright, pulsing, otherworldly. They lit up entire valleys in white and orange so intensely that locals said it was brighter than daylight. Some described strange, matte black or metallic craft hovering low in the sky. And it didn't stop with lights. Witnesses began reporting figures, humanoid beings seen near landed craft. In some accounts, these weren't just sightings, they were encounters. Waimata Valley, just 12 kilometers from Gisborne, became the epicenter. In one case, two families observed a glowing object hover silently over the valley, beaming down a solid shaft of light. The display lasted over an hour. But one incident stood out. A farmer claimed to see a silver craft land in his paddock. Two humanoids exited the craft. One allegedly attempted to take his dog. In a panic, the farmer fired a shotgun, striking one of the figures. The craft lifted off immediately, leaving the second being behind. But when the farmer approached, the figure was gone. On the ground, he found a scorched figure 8 pattern, 13 meters wide. Nearby, strange blue-green crystalline substances were discovered. They dissolved instantly when touched. Nothing could explain what had happened. The Gisborne Herald began publishing witness testimonies. The local community rallied together, forming the Aerial Phenomenon Research Group, APRG. Their motto was simple but sharp: ridicule without investigation is the crown of ignorance upon the head of a fool. Even the local school joined the conversation, writing and performing a song titled "We Could Just Disappear," inspired by the sightings. That's how deeply it resonated. Skeptics pointed to natural explanations, swamp gas, weather phenomena, or classified military aircraft. But for many, the sheer volume, consistency, and intensity of the accounts suggested something else. Something not of this world. In the remote backcountry of Southland, near the quiet town of Tapanui, lies a mystery that, if true, could reshape not just New Zealand's past, but the planet's. Locals call it Landslip Hill, but some believe it's something much more. In 1983, Southland GP Dr. Peter Snow began investigating a strange geological formation in the area. What he uncovered led him to a bold hypothesis that sometime around the year 1178 AD, a Tunguska-like event occurred here. A catastrophic meteorite explosion that flattened native forests, disrupted ecosystems, and may have even nudged Earth's rotation. His theory was based on several key observations. Massive treefall patterns radiating outward from a central point, consistent with blast zones from known impact events. Circular depressions and soil anomalies mirroring those found in Siberia, as well as Maori oral traditions that speak of fire raining from the sky, with legends describing the sun falling to earth in sudden destruction. It's also worth noting that also in 1178 AD, the year Dr. Snow theorized, 5 monks from Canterbury, England, reportedly witnessed a strange lunar event. Their account described a flaming torch springing up from the upper section of the crescent, spewing fire, hot coals and sparks. This was the formation of the Giordano Bruno crater. Could the debris of this explosion have reached Earth? Even more intriguing, a strange metallic substance was reportedly found near the site, containing rare elements that Snow believed could be meteoritic in origin. He suggested the blast might have hastened the extinction of the moa, New Zealand's giant flightless bird, and could have triggered global climate disturbances, echoing through medieval records and astronomical logs. But not everyone agrees it was natural. Enter Dr. Jan Pajak, a Polish-born scientist with a very different take. According to Payak, the Tapanui explosion wasn't a meteor at all. It was the detonation of a series of extraterrestrial craft. He theorized that the spacecraft's magnetic propulsion system malfunctioned, causing a massive explosion. He notes that the crater and surrounding soil show evidence of extreme heat and shock consistent with a blast. For instance, the area is littered with fused silica and rock specimens colloquially called China stones, lumps of soil that were apparently hurled into the air by the force of the blast, melted by intense heat, and aerodynamically shaped as they fell. He claims that the land around the Tapanui Crater shows unusual magnetic properties, compasses behave erratically, and the soil and rocks seem to hold residual magnetism. The explosion flashed and magnetized the area. Locals have reported odd electromagnetic effects too, such as mysterious radio-like sounds in remote valleys and sheep gathering in perfect circles, which Payak interprets as them sensing old UFO landing sites. In one case, a mini tornado formed directly over the crater, despite the area very rarely receiving such weather. This could be a sign the area remains magnetically and paranormally active. Mainstream scientists, however, remain unconvinced. Geologists argue that Landslip Hill is, as its name suggests, the result of a natural landslide. They suggest that the blast zone might simply be a result of ancient storms or tectonic activity, and the metallic fragments yet to be definitively linked to any meteorite or spacecraft. So what really happened at Tapanui? Was it a natural landslide, a meteor strike, or a technological disaster from beyond our world? One case continues to stand above the rest, an incident so compelling it made headlines across the globe. In December 1978, the skies over Kaikōura lit up with mystery. On the night of December 21st, two Safe Air cargo pilots, Vern Powell and Ian Perry, were flying their routine route along the South Island, but what they encountered was anything but routine. Tracking alongside their aircraft were a series of strange lights, bright, pulsating, and unusually large, with some reportedly as big as a house. These objects appeared and disappeared, changing positions in ways no known aircraft could. More astonishingly, they weren't just seen with the naked eye, they were picked up on the aircraft's onboard radar and confirmed by Wellington Air Traffic Control. A week later, an Australian television crew from Channel Zero, led by reporter Quentin Fogarty, joined a night flight to document the phenomenon. What they captured was extraordinary. Glowing orbs tracking the aircraft for long stretches, caught on film in real time.
We have an object confirmed by Wellington radar. It's been following us for quite a while. It's about 4 miles away, and it looks like a very faint star, but then it emits a very bright white and green light.
Fogarty described one of the objects as having a brightly lit bottom and a transparent sphere on top, a description straight out of classic flying saucer lore. The sighting sparked an official investigation by the New Zealand government, the Royal New Zealand Air Force, and the Carter Observatory. Skeptics pointed to more conventional explanations, squid boat lights, atmospheric conditions, even Venus. But none of these accounted for the full range of evidence: radar data, multiple eyewitnesses, and video footage captured in flight. Today, the very aircraft involved is preserved near Marlborough Airport, a silent monument to the night the unexplained chased a cargo plane through New Zealand skies. The legacy of the Kaikōura Lights endures. It's a case that pushed government agencies and scientists to publicly confront the possibility of the unknown. And decades later, it remains one of the most credible and internationally recognized UFO incidents in New Zealand's history. Whatever truly happened that summer night in 1978, one thing is certain: Kaikōura's skies have never been seen the same way again. But all of it raises one very big question. Why New Zealand? The country sits directly on the Pacific Ring of Fire, a hotspot of seismic and volcanic activity. Some believe this might attract attention from advanced observers. Others point south towards Antarctica, a continent wrapped in mystery, dotted with restricted zones and cloaked in ice. Its proximity raises eyebrows. Could New Zealand be a convenient staging ground for operations tied to that frozen frontier? Or maybe it's not just about where we are, maybe it's about when. Could New Zealand hold something the rest of the world has lost? Something ancient, untouched, deep in the land, the sea, or even the collective human consciousness?